Hi, friend. I'm really glad you're here today. I'll be honest, there was a time when I absolutely dreaded cleaning. Not because I didn't care, but because no matter how much I did, the house never actually looked clean for long. I'd spend hours tidying up only to wake up the next day, and it was like nothing ever happened. It wore me down. It made me feel like I was constantly failing at something I was doing every single day. At some point, I realized it wasn't about cleaning harder. It was about having simple habits and a plan that actually worked with my life. And once I started organizing the mess instead of chasing it, the whole energy in my home started to shift. Cleaning didn't feel so heavy anymore. So in this video, I'm sharing 10 realistic habits that helped me go from constantly cleaning and still feeling behind to finally feeling a sense of calm and control in my own space. Let's start with the first one. It's so easy. You might overlook it, but it truly changed the way I start every day. The first tip I want to share is something so small, but it completely changed how I felt about my bedroom. It's this: make your bed even if the rest of the room is a disaster. There were so many mornings where I'd walk in and just feel overwhelmed. Piles of clothes on the floor, stuff everywhere, and right in the middle, the bed messy and loud. It made everything feel worse, like the mess had already won before the day even started. So I stopped trying to clean the whole room and I just focused on the bed. One simple task. Took me less than 2 minutes, pull the blanket tight, fluff the pillows, and done. And that small action, it shifted something. Even if nothing else changed, that one neat surface made the room feel a little more calm. It didn't have to be perfect, it just had to be done. Now I do it every morning, and I've taught my kids to do the same. Not military corners or anything like that, just enough to feel like, okay, we started the day on purpose. And some days that's all I need, just one thing that feels finished. What really helped too was letting go of certain things in that space that didn't serve me anymore. In fact, tomorrow I'll be sharing a few specific items you can remove, the kind that instantly make any room feel bigger and lighter even if you don't touch anything else. So if your bedroom still feels heavy no matter what you do, that next one might be exactly what you need. Let's move into the second tip. It's a way to simplify your closet so mornings don't feel like a game of what do I even wear today? The second tip is for those chaotic mornings when your closet is full, but nothing feels wearable. I used to stare at my wardrobe feeling overwhelmed. Clothes everywhere, but somehow I still had nothing to wear. And with the clock ticking and kids needing breakfast, I'd either grab the same leggings for the third day in a row, or end up changing 3 times and leaving a pile behind. Then I tried something simple. I picked out 5 to 7 outfits. I wear most comfy jeans, neutral tops, a few go-to pieces I feel good in, and I gave them their own little section in my closet. One rail, one shelf, whatever works. No digging, no guessing, just reach and go. Even if everything else in the closet is messy, this tiny system buys me back 10 minutes every morning and a lot less stress. And the best part, because I'm not rifling through the whole closet every day, I'm not making a bigger mess just trying to get dressed. No more shirts, half-folded, hangers pulled down, or piles I never put back. Just one calm, little corner that works and stays tidy. It's not about creating a capsule wardrobe or buying new clothes. It's just about making the decision once and giving your brain one less thing to wrestle with every single day. And once you start noticing which pieces you actually wear, you might start wondering why you're still holding on to so many that you don't. Let's talk about what happens the moment we step back into the house and how one tiny setup near the door has saved me from tripping over shoes and bags more times than I can count. Now we're on tip number 3, and this one starts right at the door. That moment you walk in, arms full, brain fried, and everyone starts dropping stuff like they're clocking out of life. Backpacks, keys, water bottles, random papers, shoes kicked off in every direction. And somehow the entryway becomes the emotional tone setter for the whole house. It used to drive me crazy. I'd clean the floors, and 5 minutes later, I was stepping over cleats, slipping on a lunchbox, and already annoyed before dinner even started. So I set up one simple thing, a drop zone. Just a small area right by the door with a few containers, one for shoes, one for bags, one for incoming papers or mail. Not fancy, not labeled with vinyl stickers, just functional. Now, when we walk in, everything has a place to land. Even if the rest of the house is a mess, that little corner helps us feel like we're not adding to the mess the second we get home. And no, it's not perfect. The kids still forget. I still toss my bag on the couch sometimes, but the habit is there. The system is there, and that's what makes it easier to reset because there's somewhere for the stuff to go. Now, once things are dropped and you're inside, the next big clutter magnet is usually this one, and if you're not careful, it piles up faster than laundry. Let's talk about paper. This next one, the fourth thing that changed everything for me, is something I didn't realize was stressing me out until I fixed it. Paper clutter. It's not loud. It doesn't spill over like toys or laundry. But give it a few days and suddenly your kitchen counter feels like a mailbox exploded. Bills, ads, school forms, takeaway menus, mystery notes you're not sure are important or not. I used to let it stack, tell myself I'd get to it later, and later usually meant 3 weeks later or when something urgent went missing. What helped? Creating a 2-minute paper rule. When the mail comes in, I deal with it right away. Toss what's junk. Open what matters. File what needs action, just one small folder near the kitchen. And with my kids, we check their backpacks before anything else happens. No more crumpled field trip forms found on a Tuesday night. Every weekend, I scan that folder. Anything that's expired or no longer useful out, it goes. It's quick, it's quiet, but it keeps the whole house calmer. Because once paper starts stacking, it tends to invite everything else to follow. Speaking of piles, the next tip is about laundry. And trust me, it's not about doing more loads. It's about stopping the cycle that makes it feel never-ending. Let's talk about the fifth thing, and this one changed my weekends more than anything else. Laundry. It's not the washing or even the drying. It's the baskets. The piles that sit around for days, the clean clothes that end up back in the dirty pile because no one remembers what's what anymore. I used to start laundry while making dinner, move it to the dryer before bed, and then tell myself I'd fold it tomorrow. But tomorrow turned into the weekend, and by Sunday, I was staring at a mountain. What fixed it? One rule. Same day, start to finish. If I start a load that day, I commit to finishing it. That means wash, dry, fold, and put away all before I go to bed. It sounds intense, but actually, it's the opposite. It's the unfinished loads that cause the most stress. Now I fold while the kids are playing outside or while I'm listening to a podcast. I keep small baskets for each person so I can sort as I fold. The whole process usually takes under 30 minutes. And the best part, I never have to give up a whole Saturday to do laundry ever again. Up next, we're tackling something small but sneaky, how one item left out turns into 5. Let's talk about what I call the multiplier effect. Here's the 6th change that surprised me by needing no extra time at all. If you're like me, you've stood in front of the bathroom sink after brushing your teeth, glanced at the splattered mirror and the sink basin full of tiny hairs or toothpaste bits, and thought, ugh, I'll deal with it later. That later often turned into tomorrow or next week. Here's the simple shift. Keep a cloth or microfiber towel right next to the sink, and the moment you're done brushing, wipe the mirror and basin. 10 to 15 seconds. I did this every morning or night. No big spray, no cleaning session. Just finish brushing. Swipe mirror, wipe sink, done. In our house, this little routine made the bathroom feel clean even on days I skipped a full cleanup. The mirror didn't say neglect, and the sink didn't say ugh, which meant I stopped avoiding that room. And when guests came by unexpectedly, I wasn't hovering there trying to fix before they peeked in. It's not about perfection. It's about doing the one tiny thing that halts the "it's okay, I'll clean later" chain, because when that chain breaks, the rest of the house breathes easier. Speaking of breathing easier, let's shift into the next tip about a basket that saves you from the "where do I put this" trap. This is tip 7, and it's a tiny setup that saved me from multiplying little messes into a full-blown headache. You know those moments you pick up a stray toy, a random charger, a hair clip, or someone hands you a bag and you don't have a place for it? If you set it down just for a second, it never moves again. That's how every surface in my house used to become a landscape of small, unfinished tasks. The change was embarrassingly simple: one basket, one rule. I put a single visible basket on the main floor, not hidden in a closet, not on a high shelf, a plain laundry style or woven basket that we can all see. When something lands in the "where does this go" category, it goes into that basket. No guilt, no decision making at the moment. Here's how I use it in real life. When the kids come in from school and drop a stray craft, I toss it in the basket. When I return keys or find a single sock, it goes in. On Fridays, while I make coffee, I empty the basket items, get returned to their homes, donated, or tossed. That weekly sweep takes 10 minutes and keeps the daily clutter from becoming permanent. Emotionally, the basket removes that low-grade irritation you get seeing one more thing in the middle of your floor. Practically, it buys you breathing room when you can't decide immediately and prevents the just one thing trap from snowballing. Next up, we'll talk about a short mental checklist you can use the moment you pick something up, a tiny decision tool that makes decluttering automatic. All right, we're already at the 8th one, and this one's more about mindset than mess. I used to pick something up and just freeze. An old birthday card. A scarf I hadn't worn in 3 winters. A random kitchen gadget that seemed useful once. I'd stand there holding it thinking, maybe I'll need it later, and then I'd put it back. Again. But that tiny pause was the real clutter. The hesitation, the not knowing. So I started doing this thing every time I pick something up and feel unsure. I ask myself a few quick questions in my head. Do I really need it? Am I still using it? Do I actually like it? If I couldn't confidently say yes to at least 2 of those, I'd thank it and let it go. The first few times felt weird, but soon it became second nature. Now I do it while folding laundry, tidying shelves, even when I'm wiping down a counter and spotting that one thing we always ignore. It's like giving yourself quiet permission to not keep things out of guilt or habit. And that feeling, that's what makes space feel lighter, not just physically, but emotionally too. Up next is a simple rule I started using whenever I bought something new. And honestly, it's the reason my home doesn't fill up again right after I declutter. We're almost at the end, and this 9th tip is what helped me stop the cycle of recluttering after every shopping trip. Here's the truth: decluttering doesn't work if stuff keeps coming in without anything going out. For a long time, I would clear out a drawer, feel great about it, and then 2 weeks later, it was full again. Not because I bought a ton, just because one thing at a time kept sneaking in. So I made a rule: every time something new comes into the house, something else, same category, has to go. If I buy a new t-shirt, I let go of one I haven't worn. New storage basket, one of the old ones gets donated. Even when the item seems small or harmless, I still stick to it because it's never about just one thing. It's about keeping balance. This habit turned me into a more mindful shopper too. I don't buy just in case anymore. I think twice because I know if something comes in, something else must leave. It's simple, but it protects the space I worked so hard to reclaim. And honestly, it doesn't feel like sacrifice. It feels like an intention, like every item in my home has earned its place. Now before we wrap up, I've got one last shift to share, and it's what helped me wake up without feeling like I was already behind. And finally, we've made it to the 10th, and honestly, this one changed my mornings the most. I used to wait until the weekend to catch up on everything. I'd let dishes stack up, toys collect in corners, papers pile on the table. Then come Saturday, I'd spend hours trying to reset the whole house, and it drained me. So I flipped the script. Instead of one big reset once a week, I started doing one tiny close-the-day ritual every night. Nothing intense, just 5 minutes. I'd walk through the living room and kitchen, toss stray toys into a bin, wipe down the table, put dishes into the sink or dishwasher. That's it. Just clearing what was visible. It might not seem like much, but waking up to a space that feels done, not half done, is a whole different feeling. You don't start the day with tension. You start with space. And what's interesting is the more I did this, the less there actually was to do, because I never let it get out of control. You don't need to clean the whole house. Just reset the room you'll see first thing in the morning. It's enough to give you a quiet sense of readiness, like the day isn't already winning before you even open your eyes. So that's it, just a handful of small shifts that have helped me keep things calm and manageable around the house. You don't have to do them all at once. Even one change can ease the load, and that's more than enough to start. If even one of these tips made you feel a little more in control, a little less tense, then this video has done what it needed to do. And if you're starting to feel ready to clear even more space, especially those things that hide in plain sight, then don't miss what I'm sharing next. It's a quiet list of everyday items that might be stealing your space without you noticing. And once you see it, you'll wonder how you ever lived with them. If you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a like. It lets me know what's truly working for you. And if you'd like more space, more calm, and more clarity, hit subscribe. You're absolutely welcome here.